Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up.
Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
We got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that builds Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants are getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocado Diablos asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Somnambule Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing. Mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs. but not convicted rapists. The German court gives woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man, too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor, but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible. He converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching. Quote, I was a follower of the sword. Now I'm a follower of the cross. Amazing. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to sic the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond company. So we'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 15, 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is supposed to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether it's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791. one, that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect rights that you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where today we're gonna watch Tim Walz's speech where he's dropping out of the governor's race in Minnesota. And I don't know how much other stuff I'm going to get to because I want to go through this line by line and just I got some reactions. I saw parts of it, but I want to watch the whole damn thing, so it just may take up the whole show. Who knows? I got so many tabs open. There's a lot of great articles, stuff about Maduro and he pleaded not guilty, and there's all kinds of stuff. But I want to talk about Minnesota again, and then maybe I'll get it out of my system today, and we can talk about other stuff tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get to some other stuff here today even. But it's a 7-minute speech, and I don't know how much I can not stop during it. So we'll get to that. I'm going to say hi to everybody and get it going. First in the chat today, obviously, Avocados Diabli gets the bell. Also, good morning, the Pope, Tyrannius III, just simple blessings of the Holy Ghost. Yes. And we have Skello8, a.k.a. Midnight, Green Badger Outdoors, Mike Savage, Blarg, Kara Soldiers in the house. Did I already say that? No, I didn't, because you weren't up there. Also, who's here? Blue-Eyed Scream, Johnny Boomertex on the board. There's Alan Tyler. What's up, man? Good morning. And Attack Alpaca, Donkey Punch Bandit, the greatest name on the internet, the best name on the internet. Aaron Meredith, back again. Nice to have you here, sir. Carphalis, which I can't remember who's you have a different name on your name, but whatever, because I got all the @ names. And Miss Wild Wolf is here. So if I didn't say hi to you, I will. I promise. If I notice that you're here. But I really want to get to this. Couple things I am going to do at preliminary, though. I will. Well, let's see. I don't need this. Thanks to people sharing the show, which I have got 9 notifications for that. Let me scroll through here real quick. Thank you, Somnambule Nation. Always tweeting out the show. Greatly appreciated. I'm still calling it tweets. I'm just going to call it tweets. I don't care what they call it. There's no name for it because it's tweeting. And a nice little 20 seconds of Tim Walz. We're going to watch the whole thing. So, oh, wait. Is this that funny one, though? Hang on a second. Let's watch this. Is this the funny one? There's a funny one.
Hey, guys. It's Tampon Tim.
Yes.
I just want to let y'all know I won't be seeking re-election. I got a nice job offer from Tampax, to help them develop male tampons and shit like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that before all
who
this
did
Somali
this?
Fraud shit
Who
blows up
did
in my face and Trump
this?
sends in the National Guard in the middle of the night to arrest me and my crazy liberal bitch wife, the one with the crazy eyes.
Oh, he didn't have to say
Anyway,
that.
we had a good
Whoever
run.
wrote that.
Oh, and FYI, Kamala is an alcoholic and she's completely retarded. Toodaloo.
Okay.
Hey, guys.
Okay, that's just terrible. That's so wrong. Good morning, Andrew Thorsten. Nice to have you here. Oh, it's Septus Wolf. Yeah, I knew there was another name for that. Thank you, Septus Wolf. I know the avatar, I just get messed up. That's some funny shit. Thank you, Somnambule Nation, for that little bit of comic relief. Also, Mike Savage, thank you with the Let Us Go. And we got Green Badger Outdoors with some kind of plane taking off there. Oh, is that an AWACS? Or what is those called? Is that what are those planes called? Is that an AWACS? Like the radar plane? And then we got, thank you, Miss Wild Wolf, posting the show on your X feed. And I got a bunch of people hitting the like button, and I got Simon Wilkins. Oh, what do you got going here? Let's see. I'm probably going to go I'm going to try to go back to sleep, so I'll most likely watch later or tomorrow. But here's some pictures of the Back of a Dollarama. What is a Dollarama? Dollarama. Okay, this is the back of a Dollarama. I don't understand, but thank you for sharing that. Jay Blizzard, what up, JB? Good morning. And that's it. So thanks everyone for sharing the show. Greatly appreciated. Also, real quick, why did I put this here? Why did I put this up here so far? Oh, because usually I do holidays, and today, why do I have that background? Let's go back to the old background. Hang on. Well, no, we'll do, what is it, January 6th? It's like the last day of Christmas was yesterday. Now you can put the holiday decorations away. I'm going to keep the fireworks up one more time. One more day. One more day at least, because, it's still New Year. So happy New Year to anyone who hasn't been here since New Year's happened. But it's also January 6th, that day that's as bad as Pearl Harbor and the Civil War and the bombing at 9/11 combined. It's the worst day in the history of America. But in PJ Media, they said, morning briefing, we didn't start the fire, but we rocked the Casbah. Happy 5th anniversary, January 6th. I don't know why we're celebrating it. Midnight, what? Why are you yelling at me? What Midnight's Post? Wait, hold up. Midnight's Post. Where did I miss Midnight's Post? How did I miss Midnight's Post? You mean, what? On the show are you talking about? What the bloody hell are you talking about, woman? I see link in description. That'd be Sound Humble Nation. I see link in description, Sound Humble Nation. I see link in description, Sound Humble Nation. I see link in description, Sound Humble Nation. I see Mike Savage, Blarg. I see Green Badger Outdoors. I see Miss Wild Wolf. Did she do on your account? Oh wait. And I see my Kevin up here. What are you? Where? I think she used your account. That's why. I don't see anyone retweeting the show. I don't see. I'm Midnight Queen. Yeah, it's not here. I don't see it. Maybe it didn't mention me. That might be why. I'm not sure. But by the way, Midnight, if you're, I haven't seen you following me. Oh, you used my account. Okay. Well, it still says Miss Wild Wolf. Unless it's no, none of those. I don't see it. So we'll figure that out. Anyway. Oh, thank you. First sponsor day, Reaction on Puerto Rico, dropping a deuce minus a penny in the tip jar, saying happy Jan-teenth. Oh, that's some funny shit. Yeah, that's what we call January 6th, Jan-teenth. Anyway, so here's this PJ Media article, morning briefing. We didn't start the fire. And here's how it goes. Happy anniversary, patriotic Americans. It was 5 years ago today when red-blooded Americans walked peacefully and patriotically from President Donald Trump's speech in Washington, D.C. to the Capitol to let Congress know that stealing an election is not tolerable. And then the Biden administration turned its Gestapo knob to 14. Now someone says, Factorama, I'd rather lose an election fairly than win it by defying the Constitution and stealing it because I'm not a communist staying like your pink-haired they-in-law. What happened next was anything but constitutional. MAGA Mimas had their homes surrounded by FBI agents with machine guns and then were dragged off to federal courthouses. The FBI decided that historically patriotic symbols like the Betsy Ross flag were signs of domestic extremism. Khaki-clad special agents knocked on doors of people who had never been arrested and began with the ubiquitous lie, quote, "You aren't in any trouble, but I'd like to talk to you about what you may have seen on January 6th. By the way, good morning, Lord Stanhope. Some fatty acid from NBC named Ryan J. Riley wrote an article about me, hoping to cash in on nailing me as a high-profile MAGA type. What happened next was arguably the most tyrannical period in U.S. history. A 56-year-old female piano teacher was railroaded over nonviolent misdemeanors. MAGA Mimas were rounded up by the FBI. Nonviolent Americans committed suicide rather than go to federal prison over bullshit and trumped-up charges. For example, like these two ladies who got went and ended up in federal court. Some of us watched Biden's FBI round up J6ers like feral cats, toss them into gulags, and strip them of all their dignity. I remained dressed every night. Until 7 a.m. for months. In case American KGB kicked in our door, animals threatened to rape my fiancée, Jessica, while I was deservedly getting raped like a traitor I am in the Huskow. And this is who's this guy? Who wrote this? Oh, Kevin Downey Jr. And then photo credit of one of Biden's hundreds of undercover troublemakers. And it's related. He has a article called "My Long J6 Nightmare Is Over." But anyway, and here is the punchline. The FBI knew by August of 2021 that there was no insurrection on January 6th. Today, things are different. Almost all the J6ers have been pardoned. Kash Patel is giving the FBI the enema it sorely needs. My J6 fiance, Jessica, and I can sleep. Trump is hilariously turning the commies upside down, and real Americans no longer fear tyranny. For now, anyway. God bless America. And then so on this show today, they're celebrating the 5th anniversary of Patriots putting down our feet peacefully and patriotically, standing up to Joe Biden's vulgar election fraud. Go to linenewsradio.com today from 9 to 11 a.m. Well, they can't because I'm here. You're on my show. Well, that's Eastern time, though, so they're still on. To be part of the fun, call, text your thoughts, blah, 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 blah. So you can probably go watch a replay or something like that. But there's more. Yeah, it's Janteenth today. Happy Janteenth, everybody. Thank you, Avocados Diablo, dropping a small bull in the tip jar, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Says, just to let you know, Tyre was first, not me, so I am refusing my bell out of good consciousness. What? Wait a minute, what? I'm scrolling back up to the top. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I saw these in a different light, and then when I refresh this, you are first. Tyre Alexander, Tyre Alexander, I'm sorry. No bell for you, AD. Tyre, you get the bell. My sincere apologies to the Pope. Hopefully that will not bring any bad juju upon me. So thank you, Avocado Stabler, for being so honest and kind to our friend Tyre. All right. Hello, old guy gamers in the house too. My gosh, old home week. Hello, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians here. Holy shit, this is a great day. Okay. Anyway, back to okay, enough about that. So why do I have two of these open? Oh, this is the guy Kevin Downey, because Kevin Downey is one of the people who went through all that bullshit with the J6 stuff. I don't even think he went inside, but if you want to read about his ordeal, it's in the links today. Also, other holidays, National Cuddle Up Day. You know what they mean. Oh, yeah. National Cuddle Up Day. I'm excited for that. Oh, yeah. Also, National Bean Day. What? There'll be lots of people farting. Three Kings Day, ring in Three Kings Day with a celebration, followed with the Star of Bethlehem. Yeah, so today is the 12th day of Christmas. This is the day. This is the Three Kings Day. We three kings that made it to the Bethlehem, to the manger and shit. So it's Three Kings Day. And also National Shortbread Day, Apple Tree Day. Apple Tree Day? There's no apple trees going on unless you're in like Florida or Georgia or something. Apple trees in Minnesota are just bare. They don't even have leaves right now. Anyway, National Take Down a Christmas Tree Day. Yes, because it's January 6th. January 6th is the last day of Christmas thing that you take the tree down and pull out all your Christmas decorations unless there's too much snow. National Samantha Day. Who cares? I don't know. If your name's Samantha, I didn't mean to like be dismissive, but why did they have these name days? World Day for War Orphans. That's interesting. Yeah. Also, Dry Bean Day. So, if you want some dry beans, National Take a Poet to Lunch Day, I can't ever say that country. Children's Day, Epiphany, Armenian Christmas, and National Davis Day. Armenian Christmas, they celebrated on the day that this was the 12th day, I guess. All right, enough about the holidays. Let's talk about this Tim Walz speech. What is this? Oh, this is just some news that I didn't know about, and then we'll get to the Tim Walz thing, because I want to. You're a gay. Uruguay? I thought it was Uruguay. Anyway, something like that. I didn't know this happened. One news article before I get to about Tim Walz. Apparently, Vice President J.D. Vance's home was attacked. And of course, another. Look, I'm not saying that all trans people are violent and crazy, but you know, enough of them are because I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice. They have issues. Let's just say that way. Anyway, William Dufour, a male to female transgender male, identifying male, who goes by Julia Dufour, was charged early January 5th with multiple offenses, including vandalism after authorities said he smashed 4 windows at Vice President J.D. Vance's Ohio home. The East Walnut Hills property serves as a secondary residence for Vance and his wife, Usha, and their 3 children. According to law enforcement, Secret Service agents were alerted by a loud noise near the home and detained Dufour close to the scene. Investigators also alleged that Dufour damaged a Secret Service vehicle while approaching the property. Dufour, who previously went by the name Davis before transitioning, grew up in an affluent Cincinnati neighborhood and well, of course, because, you know, usually it's funny, Kate. You know, it's when you have when most of your needs are met, why not do weird shit? You know? Anyway, what was I trying to read here? He grew up in an affluent neighborhood in Cincinnati and attended a prestigious private high school. Despite a strong academic record, he did not complete a university degree. Court records indicate that he has prior encounters with law enforcement, including a conviction for vandalism in April. Public records indicate Dufour was raised in a politically active household. Both of his parents are medical professionals and registered Democrats. Shocker! His father, well, that doesn't mean anything because certainly. What? Midnight. Why are you yelling at me? You are ignoring me. Check your notifications. Okay, I will. Look, I'm reading something here. Okay, his father made notable political donations to Democratic campaigns, including those of former Vice President Kamala Harris and former Vice President Joe Biden. Authorities have not yet disclosed a motive for the alleged attack. Vice President Vance addressed the incident on social media, thanking law enforcement for their response and downplaying the immediate danger to his family. I appreciate everyone's well wishes about the attack on our home. As far as I can tell, a crazy person tried to break into by hammering windows, he wrote. So there you go. FTG, whichever gender you want to make that G. I don't give a shit. FTG, fuck that thing, and we'll move on. All right. Midnight, I see you yelling at me. Check your notifications. Okay, there we go. Ty Alexander with the daily woo, Ric Flair, and you know what? Midnight, I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Oh, is it in the did you send me a message? What is this? Oh, you know what? Let's see what happens here. Because I see we're actually on Puerto Rico. I don't see any other requests for messages. What the bloody hell? Oh my gosh. Well, I have a bunch of messages of people in this. What the? Your bio warning made me laugh. Still alive. Okay, I get a lot. You know, there's a lot of people who try to be thirst traps, and I have no interest in thirst traps. Midnight, I don't see it. I see Reaction Puerto Rico sent me one, and it's you sent me. Well, he sends me a lot of good stuff. The United States operation to arrest Maduro reminded Democrats of the importance to secure borders. Okay. All right. Let me get to what I want to do today. What I really want to do today. And I'll try to figure out what the hell went wrong here. Midnight. We'll figure it out eventually. But right now, I want to watch this speech by none other than my governor, Tampon Tim Walz. As you know, he has stepped out of the governor's race, or decided that he's not going to run for governor anymore. Good morning, Anna Lynn. What's up? And he gave a speech yesterday saying that. And I I want to go through it because the part that I've seen of it so far, well, in the immortal words of John Wayne, was bullshit. Okay? I'm just laughing at some of this, and it's like, because there are snippets in the news that may suggest something happened, and then we find out that thing really didn't happen, but you still use it in your speech, tells me that this snippet of thing that supposedly happened that didn't happen may have been set up just so you could use it in your speech. And I'll explain that when we get to that part of the speech. But this is from our local NBC affiliate, Care 11 News, as they covered Tampon Tim's speech, saying that he's no longer going to drop out of the governor's race. And if this is all we get to today, so be it. I got so many tabs open. You can look at all the training topics. I might get to more, but we may not. We'll just see, because this may take a while. Here we go. This is just at the beginning of the speech, so his face is not on here at the beginning, but we're going to just go ahead and do that.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year.
Let's listen into the governor
like
right now.
Many Minnesotans, I have to tell you, I was glad to turn the page on 2025.
Okay, I didn't. Hello, Andrew. Oh, Andrew Thorson too. What's up? Nice to have you here. Yeah, we are too, Tim. We are too, and we'll be even more happy to turn the page on 2026 when you're gone. Say, I still hate that butthole flag. Does that? You can never forget it, can you? You can never forget the butthole flag. Because I'm the one who told you that, or did you tell me that? Anyway, I was like laughing. Yeah, it does look like a butthole if you turn it. If you hang it the long way, it looks like a butthole. Anyway.
It was an extraordinarily difficult year for our state.
Why, Tim?
And it ended on a particularly sour note.
Well, yeah, you got busted. The state got busted. And look, we've known in the state for a while that there's been a problem with fraud. That has an overwhelming majority of the fraud being committed that we've talked about has been committed by Somali residents. I will not call it Somali fraud because not all Somalis are committing fraud, but boy, oh boy, when we say fraud, a vast majority of this being committed by the vast majority of people who have been accused and or arrested and or convicted have been from the Somali community. But the one of the ringleaders is that old white lady. That one white lady that everyone on the left's like, oh, well, you don't say that all white women do it. Well, whatever. There's one white lady and, well, there's two white ladies, but and then the rest were Somalis and one black guy. Okay, there you go. And the black guy's the white lady's boyfriend. So, I mean, because he's got the pictures with all the fancy cars and shit. All right, Gov, let's hear what you got to say. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen this in its entirety, my goal at first was to see how long it would take him to mention somebody besides himself, primarily the guy with the funny hair. Believe me, it doesn't take long.
For the last several years, an organized group of criminals have sought to take advantage of this state's generosity.
Democrats? And by the way, a lot of the generosity speaking of, he made easier. And he mentioned that, in fact, during the vice presidential debate, how he made it easier for, people to get into the daycare business. And when you say generosity, no, it's federal money that they're stealing. But I'll let you go on.
And even as we make progress in the fight against the fraudsters,
it's funny because the progress. When he says we, who's this we? Who's this we? Gov? The federal government's been doing most of the federal government's been doing most of the heavy lifting on this. State hasn't done it. Your state agencies haven't done it. And really, after 10 years of dealing with it, you finally proposed something in 2025. A problem that's been just been people shouting from the rooftops or to the rooftops that's been going on? What are you talking about?
Now see an organized group of political actors seeking to take advantage of a crisis.
Oh, wait a minute. A political act? You mean they're not letting a crisis go to waste, Tim? Isn't that the Democrat mantra? Is this a Republican's pounce speech? Interesting. Oh, wait a minute.
I don't want to mince words here. Donald Trump and his allies in...
Whoa. Okay, now I'm 155 into this, but about 1:30 of it was the preliminary on CARE 11. So about 20 seconds or 25 seconds into his speech, he's already mentioning Donald Trump. Is he blaming Donald Trump for this? I'm going to go back just a little bit so you can hear it again.
...of a crisis. I don't want to mince words here. Donald Trump and his allies in Washington and in St. Paul and online want to make our state a colder, meaner place.
That's a fascinating statement. What are you talking about? Donald Trump and the allies in St. Paul want to make our state a colder, meaner place. You mean so ending the fraud issue, ending the fraud makes Minnesota a colder, meaner place? And look, I don't know how they could make it colder. Holy shit. But yeah, about less than 30 seconds into his speech, he's talking about Donald Trump and not why he's stepping out of the race. Interesting.
St. Paul and online want to make our state a colder, meaner place. They want to poison our people against each other by attacking our neighbors.
So you're not fighting that? You're gonna drop out of the race so you can't fight it anymore? You know, it's funny because I happened to pick my John Wayne cup for the coffee today, right? And on the back of this cup, there's a little saying. It's written right here. I know you can't read it from there, but it says, "Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway." Sounds to me like you are jumping out of the saddle, Tim. You're not saddling up. You're quitting. I thought, if you would think if you're the great fighter for the state of Minnesota, you would fight. But no, you're quitting. Seems to me maybe the party people, the party bosses said, "Hey, Tim, you're killing us, brother." By the way, as I said yesterday too, the fact that so many in the Minnesota delegation of Congress, our senators and Congress people who are Democrats, are eerily silent about this. I think there's a lot more about to drop. And I think it's going to be related to how much campaign money the little fraud community has generated for the local Democratic Farmer Labor Party. I think that's someone who's going to start pointing that out. And then it's really going to get ugly here. And I think that a lot of these congressional people from Minnesota, a lot of the Democrats, a lot of the local Democrat people are not letting this get talked about or not talking about. They changed subject because I think they were complicit because they're getting campaign cash. Certainly Keith Ellison, we have evidence of him. Boy, he's on there. Whoa, yeah, money makes the world go round at the Somali events. But they're not saying much about this. They're not saying much about the fraud issue. So let's go.
And ultimately, they want to take away much of what makes Minnesota the best place in the country to raise a family.
Yeah, that's debatable. I mean, I've certainly have been happy to raise my family here, and I like living here. There's a lot of cool stuff here. The taxes are pretty crazy. I can't imagine, and also just the stupidity of sometimes of what they've done over the last, 5-10 years, going from an $18 billion surplus to a $3 billion deficit. And now we've got this thing This so they have this new paid family leave kind of thing here in Minnesota. You take up to 20 weeks. And they were expecting maybe a few thousand signups. And they've made some of it retroactive. And then like the first day they had 12,000 applications. Now they're saying a 0.8% payroll tax is going to pay for this family leave thing they did. But they did it so stupidly. They've made it pretty much retroactive, and so people are already the first couple of days 12,000 signups, and they're expecting probably now at this rate 100,000 signups. I'm sure mostly from I'm sure the large portion will be from Somali community. Anyway, let's go. But yeah, the greatest place in the country to raise family. I don't know. I could raise my family pretty much anywhere in the country, I think. Or I could have. We just like it here because there's a lot of cool stuff here. So we like the stuff, not necessarily the government.
They've already begun trying to withhold funds that were meant to help families afford child care.
Well, why, Tim? Why? Because billions of dollars have gone out to non-existent kids. Some of these daycare centers, I was going, I showed you that the other day when they said, the one daycare that even if you had full capacity of that place, it'd have been about $1.8 million. That the max they would have gotten was $1.8 million at full capacity at the one daycare center. And yet they received $3.6 million, so twice as much as they should have. And look, for example, that place, the Leering Center, which says it has a capacity of 99, that building's not big enough for a daycare of 99 kids. The building is not big enough for a daycare of 99. So somebody in the government is complicit in this. It's not just they weren't doing oversight. They actively licensed some of these places, and they haven't any. They say, oh, the day that Nick Shirley went there, they have a video of one person bringing a kid to the place. The place that got like $2.5 million that year. Oh, you have a video of one kid coming in. Okay, really? That's crazy. Hello, Banks. What's up? In 2 weeks, he's gone from the fraud claims are racist lie to it's happening, but I have fought it to I'm dropping out because Donald Trump is being mean and calling out the fraud. Exactly. It's nuts. Okay, let's keep going.
And they have no intention of stopping there.
Well, yeah, you're right, Tim. You're right. They're going to weed out. They're going to stop paying for things that don't exist. And I'm going to guess your campaign coffers and a lot of the entire Democratic campaign coffers in Minnesota, we're going to find out that a lot of that money went to those campaign coffers too. The people who are paid to look the other way. Because you slow rolled getting on this, and then finally this year, after about 3 years of investigations, you're like, oh well, I got an election year coming up. I better do something about it. I'm going to propose something. It's hilarious.
Make no mistake, we should be concerned about fraud in our state government.
You should have been, not should be. You should have been. And people have been telling you about it for years.
We cannot effectively deliver programs and services if we can't earn the public's trust.
And you've pretty much lost it.
That's why over the past few years, we've made systemic changes in the way we do business.
No, you haven't, Tim. Because we have the receipts of how much some of these places have gotten. Now, the federal government came in and caught some people, which is, I know that part of the speech is that. Anyway, listen.
We've gone to the legislature time and time again to get more tools to combat fraud.
No, you haven't. you finally did in 2025. Stop lying. Not time and time again. You finally went to the legislature in 2025 when you couldn't ignore it anymore. Nonsense.
We hired people we fired people who weren't doing their jobs. We've seen people go to jail for stealing from our state.
In federal courts.
We've cut off whole streams of funding in partnership with the federal government.
In partnership with the federal government. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Where we saw widespread criminal activity. We put new locks on the doors of our remaining programs. And
you're still doling out money.
We've hired a new head of program integrity to make sure that those locks can't be broken.
Well, guess we'll see. I'm not sure who that is. And yes, and said people convicted that judges overturned. Exactly, Blue-Eyed Scream. Holy shit.
All across this state, Minnesotans are hard at work on this problem. Advocates, administrators, investigators.
Advocates? Interesting choice of words. Advocates are working on this problem?
Are on the front lines defending the integrity of our state's programs. And I want to give a very heartfelt thank you to all of them. There is more.
There are people, by the way, who are working this. I'm not even denying that there are. But they're failing. And the problem is they're super afraid of the R word. And I don't mean the one that describes Tim Walz. So there you go. Oh, man. At least it's not shocking. Oh, my God.
More to do. A single taxpayer dollar wasted on fraud should be intolerable. And while there's a role to play for everyone, from the legislature to prosecutors to insurance companies.
Yeah, no prosecutors in Minnesota, though. Except for that one that the judge overturned the guilty verdict.
To local and county government, the buck does stop with me. My administration has been taking fast, decisive action to solve this crisis.
When? What do you mean? What have you done? Other than get exposed by a YouTuber. Look, Nick Shirley's not even that smart of a dude. Nick Shirley's not the smartest, he's not the brightest bulb in the tree. But the fact that he was able to, he didn't. You're right. He didn't include the federal government in that list, because the federal government is the one who's doing the heavy lifting on this. Now that because they've come in, the FBI did the heavy lifting on the Feeding Our Futures thing. That was all the FBI. That wasn't the local state government. That was the FBI. And I don't care if it's Biden's FBI or Trump's FBI. I don't care whose FBI. It's the FBI. It wasn't our state government that did all that. I'd pick Nick Shirley over Nick Fuentes. Yeah, I do too. He's a happy, he's an interesting little dude. He's not the brightest, but he's relentless. Let's put it that way. He is relentless, and I'll give him that. And he's, hey, outwitted Minnesota somehow. Hello, Woo, my dear friend from high school. Good morning, PDawg. Didn't Walz hire the key lord for fraud just last week? Sorry for the caps. I calmed down after I laughed at the key lord. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple weird appointments by Walz, but anyway.
We'll win the fight against the fraudsters. But
I hope you do, Tim. I hope you do. But aren't you kind of in bed with the fraudsters, though? I'm waiting to see the campaign cash thing, because there's got to be a reason he dropped out that has nothing to do with this. Because this shouldn't knock him out of the race. If he's really doing some work and getting some stuff done, that would be a good thing. But it's really hard to see right now. And I think there's going to be there's plenty more balls that are going to drop here. That was a weird way to put it, whatever.
The political gamesmanship we're seeing from Republicans is only making that fight harder.
Is it, though? or is it making you work harder? Is it forcing your hand? Again, there's got to be a money issue here that's caused the DFL in Minnesota to tell Tim, hey, you got to go. you got to step out because you're killing us, dude. Look, midnight, I'm in the middle of something. I'm not ignoring you. Okay? Look, I'm in the middle of this. I'll come back to it in a minute. I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm just in the middle of something. Okay? I promise I will go and look when we're done with this.
We've got Republicans here in the state legislature playing hide and seek with potential whistleblowers.
Oh, wow, Tim. And why might that be, Tim? Because the people who they're blowing the whistles on have been retaliating. What do you mean playing hide and seek with whistleblowers? Are you kidding me? That's what a bullshit statement. You guys, because the whistleblowers are getting retaliated against. So yeah, maybe they don't want this. They don't want to be going, hey, hi, I'm the whistleblower. What an asshole.
We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers breaking into our daycares.
And there it is. We have conspiracy theory YouTubers breaking into our daycares? Oh, you mean the daycare where the police say, nobody really broke in here, this is bullshit. But boy, you got the headline you needed so that some people who don't pay attention only heard, oh my God, somebody broke into a daycare. Get some liberal white women out here to say, oh, this is terrible. And then you find out it's bullshit. It's bullshit. And look, if the YouTubers are out there, well, here, I'm going to go back. Let's listen to that again, because I'll finish the whole sentence here.
Legislature playing hide and seek with potential whistleblowers. We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers breaking into our daycares. Demanding access to our children.
Demanding access to our children. They're not demanding access to the children. They just noticed that there were no children around. They're not demanding access to our children. You moron. Good God. Look. First of all, no one broke in any daycare. And it's funny because that whole hoax, and I'm not even afraid to call it a hoax. Okay, I'm not even afraid to call it a hoax. The fact that they came in and they broke in and didn't take anything but all of our records of the kids that we supposedly had in our daycare. We can't report properly in this day because it was all stolen. Nonsense.
We've got the President of the United States demonizing our Somali neighbors and wrongfully confiscating funds that Minnesotans rely on.
Except, aren't the funds not being going to anybody? Who knows? So they want you to confirm the numbers that you're asking money for. Maybe, just maybe, had you fixed this a long time ago, you wouldn't be having this problem, Tim. Advocacy Ali put a small bowl in the tip jar. He's referring to Nick wanting to talk to the people and trying the doors to do so as breaking in. Not that hoax. No, I guarantee you he's also mentioning breaking into daycares. Those are the words he used. Wanting to talk to people and referring to kids, that's the wanting access. But the breaking in is a direct reference to supposedly someone broke into a daycare. supposedly broke into a daycare. If you don't have a playground, you don't legally have a daycare. Am I a whistleblower? Yeah, there's no playground at the Quality Layering Center. I guarantee it. So there you go. Thank you, Diablo. He meant both. That's what I'm saying. He meant both. He's talking about both. He's breaking into daycares is a direct reference to, oh, this daycare got broken into. It was on all the news stations the next day. The news station, they literally held a press conference at the daycare with the dude wearing $2,000 glasses, saying that we got broken into.
It's disgusting and it's dangerous.
It's disgusting that it's gone on for this long.
Republicans are playing politics.
I mean, listen to this. He's spending this whole speech talking about the Republicans pouncing and not his failures. What's his speech? What's the purpose of the speech? To say he's not going to run for governor? And he spends the whole time talking about Republicans? Oh, it's the Republicans' fault. Not the fraudsters' fault, not our agency's fault that haven't really paid attention to what they're doing here. It's the Republicans' fault for talking about it.
Politics with the future of the state.
As if any politicians don't play politics with everything. Fuck off.
It's shameful. And I've said it before, and I will continue to say it.
What?
We welcome ideas from anyone, in any party, from any walk of life, who wants to help us continue to stay ahead of these criminals.
Really? Because the Democrats on a party line vote voted down having a new inspector general of this particular area. So apparently that you don't like that idea.
And we welcome the involvement of the federal government.
Good, because they're already in it, buddy. You're too much, too little, too late to ever try again.
I am grateful to the career professionals at the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI who have been helping us fight this fight for years.
See what he said there? He's grateful to the career. Oops, sorry. No, shut up, Siri. To the career professionals, the rank and file, not Donald Trump. Of course, Donald Trump's not pushing it, but he's because Donald Trump is evil. Watch.
But I cannot abide the actions of the political leadership in Washington. These opportunists are willing to hurt our people to score cheap points.
Oh, you mean like the opportunist after January 6, 2021? Arresting the man, anyone who was anywhere near that building, even the ones who didn't commit any violence? Was that opportunist? Maybe these people should be treated like the J6 people. I don't know. This is a financial, fiscal insurrection, if you ask me.
They and their allies have no intention of helping us solve this problem, and every intention of trying to profit off of it.
Maybe some people should go to jail. That would be helpful, wouldn't it?
Which brings me to this. 2026 is an election year. Election years have a way of ramping up the politics at a time when we simply can't afford more of that in Minnesota. In September, I announced that I would seek a historic third term as Minnesota's governor.
I don't know why it'd be historic. Is there anyone, haven't we had 3-term governors in Minnesota? I can't remember. Anyway.
And I have every confidence that if I gave it my all, we would win the race.
Well, then why are you giving up then? This is what I don't understand. This is the part that I don't understand. Yes, AD, I'm going to fight this by quitting. Tim Walz, 2026. I'm going to fight this by quitting. That's a good way to put it there, AD. I'm going to fight this by quitting. Huh. If you are the best person for this and you're committed to ending the fraud, why quit now? Why quit now? Because there's much more to this, Tim. We know that the campaign coffers are filled with people from the 5th District. We know that the Attorney General's campaign filled with money from the 5th District. We know that campaign money going to, all over the country from the 5th District. where all the daycares are. And the money that then the 49 daycares where the white lady was the contact name from all the daycares that were predominantly Somali. This is not even close to being. The investigations are going to turn up some shit, and you know it. That's why you're dropping out. And that's why the DFL said get out. And that's why none of the Minnesota congressional delegation is talking about this on, posting. Amy Klobuchar especially is the one that I noticed. It's like, we've been talking about Minnesota for a month now. And Amy Klobuchar hasn't said a damn word. Well, not a month, a few weeks. She hasn't posted a damn thing about it. She's been posting left and right every day, 2 or 3 posts a day. Nothing about this scandal in Minnesota. But you met with her the other day. She might even run for governor. How much of her campaign funds come from businesses that are affected by maybe some federal investigations? Just curious. I'm just curious. It's Tim.
But as I reflect on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the
and my family and my team and the DFL party leadership
conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all. Every minute that I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against.
Well, you took 6 months off during the presidential campaign. I mean, what are you talking about? You can. I know you can walk and chew gum. Holy shit, Tim.
It's the criminals who prey on our generosity and the cynics who want to prey on our differences. So
no one's preying on the differences there, Tim. Except for the difference that some people have a different attitude towards finding ways to take money from the federal government or steal money from the government. There's a whole different cultural attitude towards fraud. And that may be why so many, such a large percentage of these fraud cases include Somalis. Because there's a different attitude towards it. Some of my dealings have been, you owe us, so we're going to do this. Why do we owe you? What do we owe you? Oh, you owe us. It's interesting.
Decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year. I'm passing on this race with zero sadness and zero regret.
Yeah, I don't buy that. Because you sound pretty angry today, Tim. Sound pretty angry. You sound kind of mad there, Timmy. You're being pushed out. Because people know there's much more to come.
I did not run for this job to have the job. I ran for the job to do the job.
I like that line, by the way. That's a great line. I'm going to give him credit for that one. I didn't run this job to have the job. I ran for this job to do the job. That's a great line. But the job you're doing, I know you think you've given everybody great stuff in Minnesota, but you didn't think about how it was going to work, and that's the problem. You made it easier to get into the daycare business in Minnesota. That's what you were bragging during the presidential race. Well, kind of made it easy to make money in the daycare business, that for sure. Hi, Evan. How you doing, bro?
Minnesota faces enormous challenges this year, and I refuse to spend a single minute doing anything other than rising to meet this moment.
Well, I hope so, Tim. I sincerely hope that you have some progress with that. I sincerely mean that, because because right now we're kind of the laughingstock of the nation. And I sincerely hope that somehow you work with some people and at least get this under control, and maybe get rid of some, get some controls that actually work. But I doubt it, because, that would be, what would that be? That would be, That's racist! That's how you keep screaming. Let's see how many times more he mentions that at the rest of this speech.
Minnesota has always come first and always will. That's what I believe servant leadership demands of me. As an optimist, I'll hold out some hope that my friends on the other side of the aisle will consider what servant leadership demands of them in the moment. We can work together to combat against the criminals. We can work together to rebuild the public's trust and make our...
It's funny, too. The funny thing about this is he's never in his career as our governor given two shits about what the other side thinks until they got control of the legislature in the last election. Never gave two shits about it. It was, we're going to shove everything we can down your throat, all party line, for the last, 7 years? We've had 7 years of Democrats full control, shoving every stupid bullshit bill they could down your throat and giving, basically making it, look, they're really big on the equity thing. So they're trying to make everything, what's the class? When you hear the word equity, what do? Type in the chat, please.
Our state stronger. But make no mistake about it. If Republicans continue down the path of abusing power, smearing entire communities...
Wait, what? What? Wait a minute. What did he just say?
Build the public's trust and make our state stronger. But make no mistake about it. If Republicans continue down the path of abusing power...
Abusing power? How? What are you talking about? Abusing power? You mean pointing out that, pointing out that you're full of shit and that this fraud is going on is abusing power? That's what power is supposed to do. Root out the fraud. What do you mean abusing power? They haven't had any power for the last 6 years. This is the first year they've had any power at all, at only one house. It's been full Democrat control for almost your entire governorship. The abuse of power is what you've been doing. Holy shit.
Smearing entire communities and running their own fraudulent game at the expense of Minnesotans.
What fraudulent game might that be, Tim? What the fuck are you talking about? You're not smearing a community. You're just noticing where the fraud is. And again, I say it's fraud where the overwhelming majority are Somali. I'm not saying it's Somali fraud. I'm being generous, maybe, but still. I'm not smearing a community, but boy, oh boy, sure a lot of people in the community who are on that train. If it was a bunch of Swedes up in Hibbing that were doing this, I would be blaming all the Swedes in Hibbing too. If every American Legion found some way to skim money out of the government, I'd be like, oh my gosh, all those American Legioners are skimming money off the government. But that's not where it is. Holy shit, Tim.
I will fight back with everything that I have. I am absolutely confident.
How about you fight to get our shit in order? How about that? Let's focus on that. Don't focus on what other people are saying or doing. How about you just focus on fixing the problem? Holy shit.
And a Democratic and a DFLer will hold this seat come November. I'm confident that I'll find ways to contribute to the state that I love long after next January.
Yeah, you won't. Your political career's over. At least, God willing.
Time to worry about all that later. Today, I'm proud of the work we've done to make Minnesota America's best place to live and raise kids.
It's not.
From our new paid leave policy.
That's gonna bankrupt the state already. Holy shit. Wait till you start seeing the numbers on that.
To our child tax credit, to our school lunch programs.
Oh, yeah, the school lunch program where you're buying breakfast and lunch for all the kids in Edina and Minnetonka. You're paying for school lunches for the 1%ers, Tim. Congratulations. All the rest of us who had our kids are grown, we had no problem feeding our kids. And guess what? The ones who were having trouble feeding their kids, we were happy to help them. Your school lunch program is a boondoggle and it's stupid. And that's why everyone's property taxes are going up by 7% this year, Tim. Holy shit.
Feeding every single child.
Feeding every single child, even the rich kids. Yay! Even the parents who can afford to feed their own kids. Yay, we're feeding their kids too. Give yourself a hand. What an asshole. Oh, but if you say, oh, well, gosh, maybe we should only help, the kids who can't afford, parents who can't afford to eat. Oh, you're taking food from the mouth of children. Oh, my gosh, before the children. What an ass.
And I'm doubly proud of the incredible team we put together to make this vision a reality.
To go from $18 billion surplus to a $5 to $6 billion deficit. Yep, way to go, Tim. Your team is awesome.
I want to take a moment to thank every member of my staff, to every single state employee who has been part of this fight.
I'm not knocking our state employees. We have a lot of great state employees who do stuff, but boy, oh boy, have the ones overseeing the daycare stuff failed miserably. And the Feeding Our Future, that the state employees who overlooked that, failed miserably. You're proud of all of those state employees too, Tim? Are ya? Fan-fucking-tastic. Holy shit, I feel like I'm Chevy Chase in a fucking movie.
Now more than ever, I need you on the job. I need you to help work together to tackle the important work in front.
That's true. We do need you to start, figuring this out so we're not wasting money and we're not, wasting people's tax dollars. So, yes, we do need the state employees who are in charge of doing this shit. Do real work on this, please. We implore you, and we appreciate you if you do it well.
One of us. And most of all, I want Minnesotans to know how grateful I am for the opportunity to serve this state, for the privilege that I have been given to serve in this office. I'm on the job. I'm focused on making sure that we stay America's best place to live and raise kids.
Stop saying that. It's not.
No one will take that away from us. I'm proud of the way we treat our neighbors. I'm proud of the way that we welcome people to this state.
Not going to say it.
I'm proud of the way that we innovate, and I'm proud of the way that we are optimists for the future. No one's taking this away from us. Not the fraudsters, certainly not this president.
Again, you can't go 2 minutes without mentioning the president, who wouldn't even be talking about it had you done your job, Tim. We wouldn't be talking about this if you had done your job, Tim. So shut the fuck up about the president.
Not on my watch. Tomorrow, I'll be back with you. I'll give you an update on America's best paid family medical leave program that is now a week into it.
And boy, oh boy, is money going to be going out the fucking coffers there. Wonder where the money's going to come from, Tim. You've already had more people than you expected to use it for, what, a year? Sign up for it? Way to go. Way to go.
And at that time, I'll take all your questions.
Poorly thought out. And then I think he just walks out here because he says he'll do it today.
Thank you all.
So there it is. Boy, oh boy. There's a whole lot of stuff in the news today that I obviously haven't gotten to. And I promised midnight, what the hell's going on here? I promised midnight I would check this one more time and scroll down. So here we go. Let's find midnight on here. Boss Max Mutzi, is that you? No, that's a parody account. There's Miss Wild Wolf again. Dropped out, but should. Okay. And we'll just put that there. Oops. What did I do? I didn't mean to do that. We'll repost that though. And thank you, Miss Wild Wolf, for the good morning. Good morning to you too. And I'm going to scroll down midnight. Are you still here? Oh, here. Let's see here. Well, let's do this. There we go. Now. Oh, it's because your posts are protected. I can't see your post. That's why. All right, I'm following you back now. I'm sorry. I didn't know I wasn't following you. Maybe that now. There. That's why I can't see it. Your posts are protected. That's why I can't see it. Okay, so please approve my follow midnight, and we'll see your posts from now on. All right, I got to go, guys. Y'all, holy shit. This is quite a day with the old Tampon Tim. And look, I'm not sad to see him go. I think he's just as divisive as he claims others are. And just, he's kind of a prick too. But, and the idea that somehow it's Republicans' fault, or that, they didn't work with them to root out the fraud, when for 6 of the 8 years of his term, Democrats had all the power in Minnesota. So hard to blame Republicans for noticing it and protecting whistleblowers. Kind of a stupid thing to say there, Tim. And so that's the last I got to say about that. All right, gang, I do got to go. Here are the links that I didn't get to today. Lots of stuff going on. Check out the aggregator too. But all the trending topics that were trending this morning, especially a lot of the Venezuela stuff. I got a few articles open on Venezuela too. Also an article, apparently one of the hotels in the Twin Cities here canceled reservations for the ICE people, right? And and it's owned by Hilton. And so Hilton took some flack, and then they backtracked saying, "Oh no, we don't do that." But it was a franchisee, so they're going to drop the franchisee, I guess. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I got articles open on that. There's all kinds of stuff in the link, so check that out. And other than that, we'll be back tomorrow with what is it? What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. Oh, it'll be Hump Day. Back to Hump Day. So that's it. Got to go. See you tomorrow. My name's PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.